Maple Namu. Hello and welcome back, or for the first time, to the Maple Namu Podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how I learned the word maltong. And what a maltong is it's a big container that you can put water in. You can also put gasoline or diesel fuel. Think of it like a jerry can would be the English word. This story takes place over several months, and it's actually one of my favorite stories that happened to me in Korea. At this point, my wife's parents live in the countryside, and my father-in-law was watching a show about farming, and in that show, they said that if you mix some salt water and regular water, and then spray it on your peppers, you don't need to use pesticides. And I hear this and I'm thinking, salt water? Earth? Salt the earth? This can't be good. But if the mix is such a way where there's not too much salt water, apparently it's actually good. And at this point in time, we lived closer to the sea, my wife and I. So guess who gets to go get seawater? This is around when I learned the word maltong, and I had to keep he told us, buy some maltong. Oh, okay. And one of the ways I learn Korean words is I break them down in the wrong way. So a lot of Korean characters mean something, and then the combination makes another word. So this is obviously not the correct way to break this one down, but I took mal in maltong to mean horse and tong to mean container, so I needed to go and buy some horse containers. This is a way that works for me. Usually I remember words when it's really silly. There's probably some learning theory about it, but I needed to go and buy some horse containers to get seawater for my father-in-law so he could water his peppers. This is a true story. As weird as it sounds, it's very true. Now, my wife and I decided to go out and get seawater on a Friday night because it would be more romantic. And we needed to get some containers on Thursday night because we were going to go right after work. We ended up leaving pretty late at night, and we're driving around trying to find a place that was still open that would sell us the containers. So we're checking the map, we're searching for hardware stores, we're driving around, and eventually we actually find a place that's open. It seems like the guy lived in the store. He has a cat. We explained what we wanted. He gave us the kind for water, and we bought them and took them back to our house. Cool. We had 3 containers at this point. The number is important. It does change. We buy the 3 containers. We head home. We're ready. Now, through this whole thing, this was a couple-week process, thinking about getting the seawater, getting the containers, deciding what to do. My wife was really worried about how to pay for the water. It feels a little bit weird. It feels like stealing to go and take some seawater to water her father's peppers. So we talked about it, and who could we pay? Anybody who said that we had to pay them was probably some kind of scam, and we're probably not going to find a mermaid to pay. So what can we do? We had this dilemma for a while, and we asked my parents, and they came up with the idea of just picking up a bag of trash. Because if you've been to the sea, you know there's generally a lot of trash. And, well, we're taking something from the sea. A way to give back would be to clean it up. I thought that was pretty good. The wife agreed, so we got some of the supplies we needed, like a bucket and some tongs. Tongs, I guess, tweezers, big tweezers to pick up trash, and we decided that would be the best way to do it. Okay, it's Friday. I actually meet her at the bus stop with the car because we wanted to make sure we got there before the sun went down. We head out. We're driving along. We find a nice place. We park in front of a restaurant. We grab our containers, make sure nobody's watching, and start filling them up. They're really heavy. They're a good 20-25 kilograms each because it's water. 1 liter is 1 kilogram. I actually don't know exactly how big they are, but I certainly know that they're heavy. So we fill up the 3 of them, get them into the car, speed home. And I think we went out to the countryside the next morning, and father-in-law was really happy and wants more. He thinks that 3 containers isn't enough. So we buy 2 more, and now we have 5. 3. Now 5. We went again and started to get the seawater. We were getting ready, and we found a better place, a bit more private. And we're just getting started, and then an old lady with her walker rolls by and then just starts yelling at us. And we think, oh no, here we go. Here's an old lady yelling at us. She's going to call the police. We're going to get arrested. It's the end of the world for us. What are we going to do? Oh no. Crap. She's not angry though. She was speaking in dialect, which was a little bit hard for my wife to understand. But the basics were, she was telling us we should go farther out to get our seawater because near the shore was dirty. Okay. So here we were expecting this disaster of a situation, this old lady yelling at us, but really she's just like, go farther. The water's cleaner. It's better. Okay. So we go to the end of the pier. A pier is like a concrete road that goes out into the sea or lake or somewhere. We go out to the end of the pier, which the water was cleaner. Unfortunately, it's probably a good 150 meters of walking. And I already said these things are heavy, like 20 kilograms or more each. But we got them. We cleaned it, or we filled them up. I don't know if it was the full 5 containers then. It might have just been 2 or 3 at that point. But we went out, we filled them up, brought them back to the car, bring them out to the father-in-law. He wants more. He wants to... We don't go every week. So he was using the seawater faster than we were bringing it. And he tells us that he needs us to get more. He wants to have empty containers and full containers, and every time we go, we can switch them. Okay. We end up buying 5 more containers on top of the 3 that he already gave us. I think the most we ever had in the car at one point was 8 containers full of water. So we end up buying 5 more, and we bought a little cart because these things are heavy. And to carry them 150, 200 meters when they're full of water is really difficult. Like I'm not the strongest person, but I'm not the weakest person either. And it's tough, especially doing it in the sun. So we have at this point, we have 10 horse containers, maotong, a cart, stuff to pick up trash, and then rope to tie everything together. This should be a business at this point. The amount of money and time that we've put into figuring out how to do this efficiently. My car is now a truck. I drive a Hyundai Kona, which is not a truck. It's just a little, I think it's called a crossover, but it's become a truck with the amount of stuff that we've put in it. It's really doing very well for itself. But we go out in the morning another day to go and collect some more seawater, and we see a guy fishing, and we think, uh-oh, he's gonna get us in trouble. He's not going to be happy about us picking up seawater again. It might disturb his fish. But the wife talks to him and says what we're doing, and he just looks at us and says, oh yeah, I saw that show. Yeah, Apparently it works. I tried it too, and it was good. So, apparently it's a thing. I didn't know. I just kind of took his word for it, and it was easier to go get seawater than to fight about it. But the fisherman gave us some coffee and sent us on our way, and it was just a really bizarre experience. I was really happy with it, though. I don't drink coffee, but it was nice. And we did this for a whole growing season. And my father-in-law had the biggest peppers in the village. All of the other old ladies went to look at them. And I think he actually ended up giving us a bit of money to pay for everything, which was nice. Money-wise, it absolutely wasn't worth it, but the man loves his peppers. My wife was happy. My mother-in-law was happy because she could make her own food things, kimchi and other things with the peppers, and it's worth it. Countryside life is really strange. Sometimes you find yourself driving to the sea to pick up seawater for your father-in-law so he can water his peppers. Weird. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a comment or send an email or let me know in some way. And I would just like to shout out to Mr. Che in Daejeon. Somebody did actually send me an email, and I really appreciate that. Hopefully you're listening and enjoying this. And to everybody else, have a great day.